Little live video today talking about something that I've thought about for the past few days. And it's partly reason why I started this channel. Couple months ago, and I've always been kind of a guy that's always had like this really fun, awesome, cool little click at a specific gun store, click, click, bang, the one that I talked about in my last video. And it's here in Phoenix. And I've met a lot of good friends there. Met a lot of good people that had a lot of knowledge, stepped out on the range with them, got to learn a lot of things, got to teach them a lot of things, do the whole thing that I think the gun community is about. What I've noticed is the like expert level of toxicity that has consumed gun culture. And it's really strange to me because all in one sentence, someone will tell you that they feel, their rights should never be alienated. All of us in the gun community agree with that. The Second Amendment is literally in the Bill of Rights, and it is one of the most regulated, obscure, highly debated, politically charged things in our world. We have states like California that do everything in their power to ban you from owning a firearm. We've got states like New York, specific cities like Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. You all know the deal there. These are massive gun-free zones that are often some of the most violent violence with the use of guns in the world, in fact. And what's strange to me is that I am one of those guys who anytime I have a question about a gun, time that I have a question about a tactic that I'm doing and I just want to see it done, we all know we can go to YouTube and we can find it. And that's one of the blessings of social media. But the problem is I noticed that it was one of two things. Someone was either trying to sell me something or someone was trying to tell me how I was supposed to do it. Okay. And here's the thing about this. When I created this channel, I didn't create this channel to tell people how to train. I didn't create this channel to tell them what products to buy. I created this channel to find new people in the gun world and give them confidence and tell them it's okay to be new. It's okay to not know anything at all. Actually, as a matter of fact, I invite that. And please ask away. And if I don't know the answer, I can find the answer for you. The best gun ever is Glock 17 Gen 6. Just saying. Um, do I know the 1 pound fish guy? I do not. Um, and hey, let me tell you something about the Height Point Yeet Cannon. I shot one of those. It's a really fun gun. But back to it. This channel wasn't created to tell you how to do anything. This channel was created to give us a platform where you didn't have to subscribe to some, 9.99 patron. You didn't have to buy my products. I make more than enough money. I'm okay. I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful family. I've got plenty of guns. I did this because what my goal is to basically I'm here in Phoenix. If you're new to guns, you've never shot before and you want help, hit me up. Let's go. We can go all day long to Phoenix Rod and Gun Range. I live half a mile away from it. I can literally hear shots going off at the gun range right now. If you are someone that doesn't know what firearm to pick, hit me up. I will help you get there. I will meet with you. We can consult on this. We can find a good option for you, but do it in good spirit. And the problem is too many people they get into the gun world and they train for 5 minutes and they start running around and they start telling everybody how they're supposed to do things. Okay. And I'm going to prove a point here, right? So I posted a video at the range a couple days ago. And yeah, I had my kit real high in the front, real low in the back. And there's a reason for that. Everything I do tactically has reasons behind it. And this guy made a comment and says, "Oh, I'll never watch a video with someone that has a cheap scope on their gun." And I was like, well, first off, I didn't have a scope on my rifle. I had an optic. And buddy, those are two different things. And believe me, I would know because I've used them both in combat, in service. I've actually been somewhere and done some things. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. Okay. What matters is that we have to protect the Second Amendment. We have to protect our rights. We have to protect our ability to walk into a store and purchase a firearm, take that firearm home, and do with it as we please, as long as it's lawful and morally right. Now, I'm one of those guys that likes to live in the world of silent professional. My background doesn't matter. My branch of service doesn't matter. What I do for a living doesn't matter. But, brother, I will tell you, sister, I will tell you, those people that flaunt their experience in your face and they say, come and listen to me only. Listen to me because I'm this guy. Listen to me because I know Rob O'Neill, or listen to me because I know Brett Tucker, or listen to me because I know these people. The problem with that is those are oftentimes the most insecure, unconfident people on the face of the earth. And by virtue, they teach people bad habits. And I've had too many experiences at the Phoenix Police Academy's range dealing with these kind of individuals that they come in, they're again, oh, subscribe to my channel. I got 3 million people on TikTok, Facebook, and oh, by the way, here's my business card. Pay me $500 and I'll teach you tactics. And I have a problem with that, because the problem is that new person, and I don't want to keep circling back to it, but the new person that woke up and said, you know what? I live in Phoenix and I need a gun for self defense. That person walks into a gun store, that person pays for the gun, they go to a range terrified because they've never shot before. Everyone around them is trying to one up them and give them bad advice, and they become afraid to ask questions. So they go on YouTube, they watch all these crazy videos about, if you don't have this suppressor, you're a goober. And if you don't wear this ballistics helmet when you go to the grocery store, you're a goober. And if you don't have this fully awesome, badass polymer 7.62 5000 rifle, or whatever they're coming up with these days, you're not anything special. So therefore, you have a human being, an American, that's purchased a firearm that is now insecure. Now, again, back to it. This channel's philosophy is simple. I'm not sponsored. I'm fortunate enough to where I got 450 subscribers in like a week. I've since got down to 409, and that's okay, because my hope is that at least one, two, or three people, okay, one, two, or three people can learn something and take that and teach someone else. And most importantly, gain the confidence to say, I am one of these guys who now owns a firearm for self defense, and I'm comfortable with this firearm. I train with this firearm and I do the right thing. Okay. This channel got another big reason why I started this channel. And this one's kind of hard for me to talk about, but it's the reality of it, right? In my circle at the gun store, there was this buddy of mine who used to come in all the time, and his name was Brandon. And Brandon was a extraordinary human being. He was as smart as a whip. This kid could take a computer and could do anything with it. He could fix your home internet. Like when I switched internet providers at my home, I called him for consultation on the Wi-Fi box I needed to be able to run my camera system in my house, right? Always do anything to help anyone. If someone came in and was down and out, oh, I don't have money for lunch, Brandon took care of him. Just a great kid. And I go into the gun store, my favorite one, click, click, bang, obviously. And I go in there and they go, man, did you hear that Brandon died? And I'm like, no, I didn't hear Brandon died. But I am hearing it now and it broke my heart. And one of the last things that Brandon and I talked about was that we wanted to create a YouTube channel that was just real and was just honest. No paid subscriptions, no buying you, no selling anything, none of this stuff. Um, and I'm trying to do that. So please like, share, comment, all of these things. My mission here is to bring awareness and confidence. It's to learn, because I'll never stop being a student of the firearms industry. Um, and also research. Do everything you possibly can. And some people have asked some questions here, so we're gonna go. Do I play airsoft? I don't play airsoft because I just don't have the time. The AK-47 is a immaculate rifle. I have seen the AK-47 literally underwater through mud Make any standard issue M4 look stupid. I think the 7.62 round is an amazing round. Um, I definitely think the military's choice now on going to the M7 or whatever it is that they're commenting or they're calling it these days, that round is amazing itself too. Let's see. So the guy that sits in the bathroom and listens to the shower run has moderators now. Interesting. Do you have any snipers? I do. I have a few 300 Winchesters. Um, I think when it comes to the long range distance, in my opinion, 300 Win Mag specifically is probably the Hellfire's choice. It's pretty crazy because you can actually go to Shields right now and you can buy it's like 560 bucks. It's made by Savage Arms. You can get it in 5.56, 300 Win Mag, 223. You can get it in 17 HMR. You can get it in 22, but the 300 Win Mag is only, I think it was like 550 bucks. Comes with a nice Vortic optic. Um, so it's yeah, we got a few guns in the house. We got quite a bit. Let's see who else has said something. Brandy Wiggins says hi, hello. Um, you call it a taser gun? It's just a taser. Remington 700 is yeah, that's a big deal right there. The thing is too so my sons are 9 or sorry 8, 9, and about to be 12, and I carry a lot of weapons in the house, and they're very skilled in them. I think one of the most important things about gun safety when you have children inside your home is to teach them how to clean them, how to secure them, how to keep them safe, and most importantly, how to use them in the event that I am for some reason down. Um, yeah, so I've kind of had to formulate some of my reach out and touch 'ems to, the boys because, I take my boys to Phoenix Rod and Gun Club. You put the Glock in their hand, they fire 17 rounds and they're over it. Now you put a big bad rifle with a nice little optic on the top, they eat it up all day. And I think it's um I think it's a really important thing to do. And yeah, 700 Remington on hunting deer, especially in Pennsylvania, that's definitely the way to go. But back to it. Like I said, straightforward. This channel is called Real Talk Glock because I love Glocks. It's not a hate at anyone. Some of you guys have subscribed to my channel. You guys seen my channel or my video that I put out regarding the Sig 320. Um, when it comes to that, for me, like a Glock pistol in my years of service has never failed me. I carry one every single day with me. And every time I've asked that thing to go boom, it's gone boom. I recently with the Gen 6, I think I talked about it. The Gen 6, when I first got it, it had a significant amount of problems. It was the second or third round, was constantly failing to feed. I contacted Glock. They said, hey, get the gun up to Atlanta. We'll take care of you. Literally the next night, my wife and I drove to Atlanta, went up to the Glock factory, checked in with security, which was a whole process of it itself. And then we walk into the Glock factory has this tiny little weight room, and a guy comes out this like black security door and goes, "Hey, what are you here for?" And I'm like, "Oh, I bought this Gen 6. It's got some significant issues. I don't know what's going on with it. This Trigicon optic I got on it, it's having a really hard time setting zero. It keeps moving around, and this is on their new optic mounting system. So you have the polymer plates underneath that supposedly keeps it from shifting. And you know, about 2.5 hours later, he comes back with two big targets, shot about 400 rounds to the gun. Goes, yeah, but this thing had some problems with the extractor. This thing had problems with the recoil rod. They literally replaced them, took care of them. Unfortunately, he didn't give me the night sights that I wanted. He said he didn't have any, but they sent me on my way. But it's things like that to me, a manufacturer, especially when it comes to a service weapon, um, when you put your life on the line and you entrust your life on a tool because a firearm is a utility tool. When your life depends on that tool, you want to make sure that it's working flawlessly. And my choice for picking Glock is kind of the one to front one was because um it's never failed. I've never heard of any kind of crazy accidental negligent discharges that are coming from some design issue with the Glock. The Glock leg thing is pretty real, right? Like when you're reholstering the gun and you're doing an administrative movement, like please pull the holster out and put the firearm in and put it back in together. Um, you know, it's just one of those things. Let's see. It looks like we got some more. Um, how do I feel about the 1911? So I'm gonna. Here's the thing about the 1911 and Thomas Gray. If you are still here, the 1911 is the pioneer of semi-automatic weapons, pistol wise. The problem that I have with the 1911 itself is the mag capacity. And I have a personal rule, and this is just me. And if it's concealed carry, outer carry for work, ankle carry for a backup, whatever the deal is, I have a 15 round rule. I do not carry any firearm that the magazine does not possess at least 15 rounds. Now, where did the number 15 come from? Well, that's because I made a commitment to myself. I would never carry a firearm smaller than the Glock 19, and it carries 15 rounds. We've seen innovations like the SIG P365 that even the macro, whatever you want to call it, those come out of the box, 17 round capacity. You can get 21 flush fit mag capacities with them. So it's like the gun industry, especially the micro compacts, have gone miles to deal with capacity. And it's just one of those things that when it comes to a 1911, um, they're amazing. They fit great in my hand. They shoot like a dream. I am an iron sights guy, so iron sights all day long on the 1911. When it comes to carrying it for service or just carrying it as my EDC, it's really just the mag capacity. Now the 2011s, specifically the 9 mils, a lot of them have had a lot of reliability issues. We've seen the huge issue with staccato. We've seen the huge issue with Rock Island. Some of these T-Paws coming out, or Tepes, whatever that Turkish company's called. A lot of those 2011s and the 9 mil are having a lot of reliability issues. And staccato, by the way, owned up to it, fixed the problem. If some of you are familiar with the debacle with the 2011s, the staccatos, like they weren't drop safe. Pretty much every law enforcement agency in Arizona banned them, said you cannot carry these, they're not drop safe. And then Staccato recognized and they turned around, they said, hey, we're going to fix this. So to answer your question, I think the 1911 is one of the greatest semi-automatic handguns that ever lived. I do own one. It's just not something that I'm going to carry with me. I'm going to take it to the range. I'm going to go bang that hammer all day long, and it's a great gun. 45 ACP is a hell of a round. The problem is it's heavy. So if you want to carry a Glock 21, 13 round mag capacity, it's like feel it. It's not twice the weight, but it certainly feels twice the weight. Sitting on your hip all day. And I'm someone that's got a fake hip and all kinds of other stuff. And you know, Gospel Afro Beats channel. To be honest, the Shadow Solutions MR920 Elite is growing on me. I think you mean Shadow Systems. Um, here's the thing about Shadow Systems. It is the best quote unquote Glock clone. If we're gonna characterize that anymore, I don't think that we should, but I think a lot of people will consider the Shadow Systems a Glock clone. And partly because when they came up on the Gen 3 pattern and all that, and that's great, awesome, right? Like majority of us can agree that it's either Gen 1, Gen 3, or Gen 6, right? 2 and 4 and 5, 5 was okay, didn't really do a whole lot for us, and 2 and 4 just definitely just dog water in my opinion. But yeah, I think the shadow systems, if you can spend the money on one, right? Like if you're an everyday shooter and you're a guy that goes to the range and you competes and you have the 1,200 bucks to drop on a shadow systems, I would say all day long, I would probably pick that up before I did a Glock, especially for competition, because from what I've noticed shooting a shadow systems is their trigger is just faster. The one thing about Glocks, and we know why it is, and they both operate almost the same way when it comes to the striker fire system, but it just feels like their triggers are just faster. And when you're competing, that is like the name of the game right there. Like if you look at some of these legends and these greats like Ben Stoger, which by the way, bless that man's heart for standing up to the USPSA. Right now, Ben Stoger is a man that we need to rally around. Like this guy is telling the truth. He tells the truth about the gun manufacturers, but he'll also tell you too. Like when you're competing, there's two things that matter: shot placement and speed. If you put anything in between either of those, you're not going to compete at your best. So yeah, I would say that the shadow systems, really any of their platforms, are definitely awesome. And if I had the $1,200 to choose, right? Which I shouldn't say it like that, but I said if I was at the store right now with $1,200 and I had to make the choice between a Sig Legion or a Shadow Systems, I'm taking the Shadow Systems. And that's just my personal opinion. One thing that was funny, um, this this guy in one of my last videos, right? He commented and he said something about, a cheap scope. And I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. This guy is an asshole. He hates his life. His cat hates him. That's okay. There's always these people that are going to comment some crazy stuff about your presentation because they think they do it better, or quite frankly, because they're jealous. Um, oh, Gospel Afrobeats, you just asked a great question, and I'm going to answer that, and it's neither one of those. Um, when it comes to optics, my younger brother about a month and a half ago was like, "Hey man, like you got tons of like Vortec optics, Sig Sauer optics, Trigicon optics. You got some ACOGs. Have you ever gone on like Amazon and bought some optics?" And I was like, "No. Why would I do that?" And then I went home and I'm sitting with my wife and I went on Timu and I bought like 7 or 8 optics off of Timu, and they were like, I don't know, some red dot stuff, some fake ACOGs that were like $25 each. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, those Timo optics go hard. Like it's kind of cool because like when I go rifling out in the range on like a practical forum and I'm transitioning and I'm dropping mags, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. You get kind of like a risk of like your weapon hitting, like a barrel or I don't know, fucking whatever it's gonna hit type deal. And I don't know, there's just something about like a Timu optic going through a barrel that makes me feel better than a $2,000 Trigicon, you know? So um as strange as this sounds, like I'm not recommending betting your life on a Timu optic, but bro, if you want to have some fun and you can find a $19 5 power scope on Timu and it's got some crazy like windage stuff on it, like dude, pick that thing up, bro. It's gonna be fun as hell. I love that kind of stuff, bro. Like taking dog shit and making it fun. um, and I have trained with the Mantis. I've trained with Mantis X, not the Blackbeard. Um, I've also done their shoot or don't shoot simulator, which is, by the way, if you want to be in a stressful situation, find a training facility that has that. So what the Mantis shoot or don't shoot simulator is, it's very similar to all the ones that the law enforcement agencies have them, like Phoenix PD has them, Chandler, they all have them, and at the academy, they have them. And it's like the craziest thing where they put you in these real world scenarios and you command the scenario. You're yelling out commands like, suspect, drop your weapon, drop your hands, don't reach back into your car. And it was funny because I remember I was doing one day, and this was probably like 6 or 7 years ago, but I was doing a shooter don't shoot drill to qualify, and there was this scenario to where I was at a what was it? It was like it wasn't a Kmart because they can't like use Kmart or Walmart, but it looked like a Kmart. Like there's the giant red thing there that you knew was a K that they blacked out. And basically, the synopsis is I come up to a car where there's a domestic violence situation, and the man gets out of the car and he's got like this tinfoil hat on, and he's reaching into his pockets. So right away, I go to my Glock 17 and I'm, hey, sir, you need to back up. You need to drop your hands immediately. And then he pulls his hand up real fast and he's got a pack of cigarettes and he pulls one out and he lights a cigarette. Well, then the female comes out and steps beside him, and immediately he goes down for a knife and puts it to her throat, right? And I'm lethal. I'm on lethal on this target right now, right? And I'm giving commands out, drop the knife, drop the knife, I'm gonna effing shoot you, drop the knife. Well, when you're doing these shooters don't shoot drills, now you can carry a taser and you can simulate a taser, but then you couldn't. And no shit, because I thought this was the best option, put like 6 rounds down, right? And bam, 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 bam. Screen blacks out and it goes to the scoreboard. And it's like 5 out of 6 shots hit, 6 shot lower left. I'm like, all right, well, typical Glock always shoots lower left. And then the scenario failed me and said that I shouldn't have shot, I should have tased him. And I was like, what a way to fail a simulator. Guy puts a knife to a woman's throat. I pulled the trigger 6 times, 5 out of 6 hit the targets. He's down, scenario's over, but the computer screen says that I should have tased him. craziness. But real quick, back to you, Gospel Afrobeats channel. Now, what's your pick basic AR platform? Do you like Daniel Defense or SIG? I'm going to say neither. Here's the thing: Daniel Defense is an amazing setup. They're also very expensive. SIG Sauer, same thing. Awesome setup, very, very expensive. There is a newer, like, I don't even want to say that they're a newer rifle maker, right? But they're called Zero 07. And I walked into my buddy's store and he had one of these rifles for 499. Okay. AR platform, really nice setup. Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the Zero 07 rifle, like right out of the box, I put an ACOG on it, shoots like a dream every single time. But other than that, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Diamondbacks, one of my favorite rifles ever made. I would bet my life on a Diamondback DB15 all day long. Great budget rifle. You can buy one for 550, 600 bucks. If you are someone that's like super tactical and you're doing your deal on the practical range all the time, um, Daniel Defense Sig. The Zero 07, yeah, I definitely put that up against my Sig for sure. I would say that the Zero 07 outperforms the Sig all day long, does not touch the Daniel defense. I would say a close second or third in that is going to be Black Rain Ordnance. Every Black Rain Ordnance rifle that I've ever shot was awesome. Just the one thing I didn't like about them was they always have some weird paint scheme to them. I'm one of those that likes either FDE or jet black. Any Black Range ordinance that I've looked into when I was going to a store to buy a rifle, it's got like the green splatter zombie killer written on the side, and it was just not, something I was impressed with. But if I was to rate the best ARs in order, like the best ones to date, definitely going to be Psionics, Daniel Defense. Um, Sig's going to be a close third. It's going to tie up maybe with, yeah, I think Sig is a pretty heavy third. Then I think we hit Diamondback. Zero 07's probably a good sixth place, DPMS. And then, of course, everybody's favorite budget rifle is, Anderson. But I will tell you this actually. Funny story on the comment about the High Point. Okay. High Point has started making AR 15s. And let me tell you something. I got the opportunity to shoot a High Point AR 15 and I was pleasantly surprised by how amazing it was. If you get the opportunity to go to a range and rent a High Point AR-15, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna tell you something right now. The High Point H9 or whatever, and the old weird looking carbines that they were making, like garbage for sure. Heavy, ugly, looked like Luke Skywalker carried it for a living. But yeah, that High Point AR-15 is a next level weapon, and it was like freaking 399 bucks at the gun store. I'm actually surprised I didn't buy it. I did shoot it, I did rent it. No failure to feeds, no issues. Did everything you asked it to. Nice, smooth, clean trigger. Picatinny rail handguard. Um, no issues. Just a fun little gun to shoot. And when it comes to ARs, right? Like I don't necessarily know that brand matters, um, because if you run into a scenario to where you buy an AR, even if it's got a dog shit trigger, spend 200 bucks and trade it. If you don't like the handguard, you can go to any gun store, any sportsman store, and you can buy a new handguard. They're just so customizable that, in my opinion, I don't have a reason to justify spending $4,000 on one. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to jump off here and get back to being a husband and a dad. I appreciated our time here, and thank you so much.